Stop the cap.
This is partly the reason why I'm going to continue making videos, because of this black men bad, okay, or black men worse than black women, okay. This is why I have to continue, to make these videos. Bottom line, you don't want to argue, that I'm a defender of black men and boys. You goddamn right I am, because I'm one of them. You goddamn right I am. And I'm tired of, it's amazing to me at how, you can see the ways in which, black women get dogged out, right? By society. They'll argue black men, but I'd argue that some of the criticisms are valid. Other criticisms are just malicious, like that guy that went up on I posted it on the community tab, the brother that was talking about some dating show, and even the host had to check him. He was talking about black women and nappy hair and all this other shit. I mean, just talking about he didn't date black women, just all this self-hating, I mean, he just went full blown Uncle Ruckus, self-hate. I can't defend no shit like that. You know what I mean? But when you get into the arrogance of black women, when you get into the bad attitudes, when you get into the unnecessarily attacking black men and throwing them underneath the bus, when you get into the way that they'll argue from a one-sided standpoint and make it like the man did everything wrong, and the woman, she was just a helpless, innocent victim. And then you lift underneath the hood, and then you discover that she's not as innocent as she claims. I gotta speak up on that. So anyway, that same woman, the one with so stupid is she looks like some chick that should be in a Ghetto Gaggers video. But anyway, she's actually African. But she was born in the States, or sounds like she was raised in the States. I don't know if she was born in the States. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, this is the woman that basically came after Williepete and was talking about why they promote ugly, dark-skinned women. And I'm trying to think, what was she comparing it to? I can't remember exactly what she was comparing to. But she was talking about why they elevate the unattractive dark-skinned women, and then the black people, go for it. Now, I think that when she made her argument, she didn't lay it out the way that it was supposed to be laid out. You know what I'm saying? She could have laid it out better, because we've talked about that before. We've talked about, the way that they try to, whenever they always grab these African models and they always want to display them as art. And they'll try to throw up a chick that's bald-headed, and then you'll get women that get confused about that, FBA women, where they want to see dark skin elevated, but then it's like she's not being elevated from a desirability standpoint. She's being elevated by, two Italian gay men in Italy, who, they're on some other shit. They like women, white or black, who look like prepubescent boys. No breasts, no hips, no ass, shaved head, and then the chick will be dark skinned, and then FBA women will jump up and be like, she's beautiful, but none of them want to look like the chick. Captain Solo and myself, we talked about this when it comes to the beauty contest, type of thing, where black women will do these ad hoc beauty contests. Remember back in the day when it was Alicia Keys and India Arie, and people were saying that India Arie didn't get the Grammy because, I think it was the Grammy, she didn't get it because, Alicia Keys is light-skinned. And then black women tried to make a beauty contest out of it. It was never a beauty contest to begin with. It was never a beauty contest to begin with. It was, what do you call it? It was, a contest about, their music capabilities. And, talking to people who are into music, India Arie did have a superior album. Point blank period. Her technical skills and, the ability for her to, sing and write and all that other stuff, it was a better album. But she didn't win, right? And then black women try to turn it into a beauty contest, which they shouldn't have done. Was India Arie slighted because she's a dark-skinned woman? Probably. But she didn't have to turn it into a beauty contest. And there's a a forcing of the hand, that seems to be done when it comes to black women's beauty, where even black women don't know how to gauge it. And, I got to call bullshit on a lot of this stuff because, when you go and go on, you go on Instagram, you go on Pinterest. I mean, there's plenty of attractive dark-skinned women that, for some strange reason, there's always some woman that's pushed to the forefront, that's black and dark-skinned, and, it has questionable attractiveness. And then everybody's like, oh, if you don't find her attractive, self-hate. Right? Self-hate. And it's like, yeah, but there's prettier dark-skinned women that are out there. So I did get what she said because I've made similar points. But the way that she said it, the way that she came after Williepete, first off, chick, Williepete looked better than you with her blonde, fucking, braids that, or whatever she got, some type of fake ass locks, and the shit is clearly, she needs a retwist or something. She needs something, you know what I mean? Because she got all this new growth going on. I'm like, what are you doing? But anyway, I'm just saying the audacity of the woman, right? To sit there and talk about Williepete. And mind you, this is two African women ripping on each other. This ain't got nothing to do with no FBA women. This is an African woman criticizing another African woman, a Nigerian woman criticizing a East African Kenyan woman about how can we stop elevating, ugly, dark-skinned women. And I'm like, well, I would love to see what you consider to be beautiful. Because one of the problems with a lot of people when they want to shoot down dark-skinned women, and this is something that I've most certainly learned from Captain Solo. You want to shoot down a dark-skinned woman, make sure that you got the more attractive one in your back pocket. Have names on deck. Have names on deck of like, nah, sorry, this chick looks better. And she's just as dark-skinned. Now what you got to say? That's how you got to respond to the shit. You can't reject the dark-skinned woman. You got no dark-skinned women in your back pocket, and then all you want to do is elevate light-skinned women. You're going to get hit with the self-hate label. That's just how that works. You're not going to be able to come out of that unscathed, And if light-skinned women is what you like, then you need to just own the fact that you like light-skinned women and leave it at that. Okay. What's the other thing? So anyway, her talking about all the light skin, dark skin, all that stuff. That's the video there where she kind of like went viral. I've seen other women criticize and comment on that video, but then she's got another video where she's talking about how black men can't read, and that's the reason why black women are single, because these black men can't read. Bullshit. Like, again, first off, the gap between black women and black men when it comes to reading is insignificant. Secondly, not for children to not read at grade level and not be proficient at grade level or exceed reading proficiency at grade level is not the same thing as being illiterate as an adult. It's not the same thing. So she's up there. So like the way that she made her video was like black men can't read, and we have an illiteracy problem in the black community. The black community has not had an illiteracy problem since the early 1900s. And the main reason that is because black men didn't get to go to school. Black women got to go to school because when a boy turned 16 years old or probably 14 years old, he was expected to work and support the house. So while he was out there in the fields, while he was out there working, right, helping support the family, right, which is why in the past black families had, really big families, because that was the farm help. The girls got to go to school. They got to go to get their education. And this is one of the reasons why even during, I'd say between the 1900s all the way up until about World War II, maybe even beyond that, a lot of black women during the Great Migration in these cities, they were educated. They were more educated than than the black men who came from sharecropping backgrounds for obvious reasons. And that's where some of the black women are more educated than the black men started, because black men were working. They were working from a very early age. They were making the money. And so they would let their wife handle the finances when they themselves didn't know much about finances or balancing the checkbook or anything, because they were too busy. The man was born in Mississippi, probably only had a 7th grade education, but he moved to Detroit and was able to get a job in General Motors. And he worked there and had a pension and everything else, was able to support a family. But, his wife was more formally educated than he was. And so that's the beginnings of where you see, the educational disparities, because the men were working to support the girls going off and getting their education. The girls got educated. The boys had to go out there and work. That was what was expected of them. But again, not knowing American history, and especially this woman being African, again, no fucking nuance. That's the problem with all these goddamn conversations. No nuance. So again, she goes up there and erroneously, the reason why black women can't find a black man is because niggas can't read. And even some of the women, to FBA Women's defense, they were like, I've never dated a black man who can't read. I saw at least 2 black women's comments in the comment section that was like, where are you getting this shit from? So, and I'm not saying that you don't have black men that graduate high school and they struggle to read at, like a college level, like a college level paper. They struggle to read at a college level. Yeah, I'm sure that exists, but that's not illiterate. That's not illiterate. Going off and because you can't read a CDC report doesn't mean that you're illiterate. Because you can't read legalese doesn't mean that you're illiterate. That you're functionally illiterate, and that you can't. You're like, I went through the stop sign because I can't read that says stop. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's not what's going on. The issue is reading proficiently at grade level, which goes into you're sounding your vowels and what's the other thing when it comes to, reading and reading comprehension and what else is there? It's at the tip of my tongue when it comes to reading. Oh, your vocabulary. How extensive is your vocabulary? I remember I had this conversation with somebody, talking about rappers being dumb. I was like, no, actually, rappers are some of the most highly intelligent people in the world, because in order to put words together and have them rhyme, you have to have an extensive vocabulary. Y'all can say what you want about, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has an extensive vocabulary. Lil Wayne is up there at the level of genius. You know what I mean? Like, what was one of the lyrics that Lil Wayne said? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Lil Wayne genius lyrics. Silence. What did he say? I know I'm gonna find it. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Do you understand that? Real G's, meaning real gangsters, move in silence like lasagna. Lasagna has a G in it, and the G is silent. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. A play on words. You can't be illiterate and not understand the English language and come up with a lyric like that. You know what I mean? So again, I'm offended at what this woman had to say and putting that out there on the damn internet. You guys are funny with the way that you do shit where, you want everybody to be, particularly culturally sensitive to what is being said about the black woman. Oh, you got to understand. Oh, you got to be nuanced. Oh, you got to be this, over that. But then the shit that y'all put out on the internet, y'all just throw shit out there and don't care how it lands because, black men batting, okay? Black men batting, okay? And we watch you all do this. And then you want us to have like all these like extra levels of sympathy for you, and you want us to like, oh, you black men, you don't care about the black woman. Oh, da, 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 da. I'm like, how many times are y'all gonna throw us underneath the bus? And then we're like supposed to have all this extra compassion for you. Just saying. How many times does that happen? You know what I mean? Now, like I said, this woman is African. She's Nigerian. But there were a number of black women in the comment sections like, oh, yes, sister. Yes, that's why I'm a single mom. Yes, because these niggas can't read. Why did you get pregnant by a nigga that can't read if that's your argument? If that's your argument. That's the same as with the women that used to call in Kevin Samuel's show talking about these black men are unfit to lead. Well, if he's unfit to lead, then why did you have his baby if he's unfit to lead? Why did you have his baby? Oh, he's unfit to lead. Why? Why'd you have his baby then? He doesn't have his shit together. Okay, fantastic. Why did you have his baby then? You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all be saying, like, you say shit because there's something in the air. There's something in the community that it's a real comfortable space to just throw black men underneath the bus and act like we're just terrible. There's a real comfortable space in the black community for that. You know what I mean? And again, when you get black men, they grow up hearing nothing but the negative. And then y'all wonder why you get brothers that view black women in a negative light and go over the fence. I'm not saying that that's all the reason, but it's a lot of the reason. It's a lot of the reason. I don't care that black women want to jump up and down and say, oh, we're attracted to black men. I don't care that they say that we're attracted to black men. You don't have any respect for black men. I don't want to be with a woman that has no respect for me, that looks at me the same way that you want to claim these white women look at black men as nothing but a big phallus and sex gods and play toys and playthings. Right? I don't want to be viewed like that. But once you start picking up on the reality that that's how black women view you, right? You haven't gone out here and raped and pillaged, anybody. You haven't violated anybody, or all the evil shit that they want to say is going on when secretly, quiet as is kept, a lot of the situations that black women get themselves into, they love it. They love the danger. You know what I'm saying? They're like Mekhi Phifer and Paid in Full. You know what I'm saying? I love the game. When I'm out there, I feel like one of them ball players. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how a lot of sisters move, but they won't take ownership of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, we got to stop this idea that no black men are going to college and all black women are going to college getting their education, right? Completely ignoring what even the women are majoring in, on top of the fact that on average, only about 20% of black people go and get their education, to go and get, a 4-year degree. It's only like 20%. 80% of black people are not going to college. They don't have a college degree. That's what you're dealing with. So if you want to make college degrees, like, hold on, let me pull this up. Let me make sure I'm 100% factual on this. Hold on. Let me pull this up. What percentage of African Americans have a 4-year college degree? Let's see what it says. Okay, so it's a little higher than that. It's as of recent data, about 27% single race, non-Hispanic black adults aged 25 and older in the U.S. have earned a bachelor's degree or higher. This includes 16% with bachelor's degrees only, 11% with advanced degrees, master's, professional, or doctorate. African American men, 24.9%. African American women, approximately 30.8%. Context and trends. This group rates 27.26% in 2022, has risen steadily from 21.2% in 2012, signaling ongoing growth in college attainment, for Black Americans. By comparison, the U.S. national average for adults age 25 and older with a bachelor's degree or higher is around 37 to 38%. So there still is a notable gap. So Black people are still behind the other groups. Probably it would just be Asians and white people. Regionally, places like Atlanta metro area exceed the national Black average. About 30.7% of African Americans there have a bachelor's degree. So that's not 80%, but 70% of Black people that don't have a degree. Now, let me see. Let me be more specific, because that's everybody. Let's see. Well, no, that's over 25. That's over 25. That covers it. Because I was going to say, the age difference. Because you got to remember, a lot of the older generations, they didn't have. I can't even say that, because there's a lot of young people that don't have the resources or the support system to go to college. Compared to, in the past. I'd have to look at that. I'd have to look at what the numbers are in the past. I'm not going to do that now because I got to get ready to go. But yeah, like I'm tired of the intellectual laziness. I'm tired of women saying things and putting things out there and doing it lazily, just like how white supremacists do it. When they go out there and they they just go out there and they just say shit. No nuance, just, like on some Nick Fuentes type of shit. Just go out there, 1350. Okay, so let me get this right. So all 42 million African Americans are committing 50% of the crimes, right? That's what you're saying. All 42 million. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't even think about what they're saying, because the goal is to just throw some sensational bullshit out there, and then, like walk away like they're the the better person or some shit like that. It's irritating. It's hella irritating. And I expect more from Black women. I expect nuance from Black women. I expect Black women, to pull out their microscopes and shit. And especially when you all want, some sort of reciprocity when it comes to that, when Black men speak on Black women's issues. You know what I mean? But we still exist in this world where when it comes to Black women, it's Black women are sugar and spice and everything nice, and Black men are everything evil and bad. And then as from a perspective of a Black man, I'm like, well, what's the difference between you and these white supremacists then? Well, seriously, what's the difference? You feel the same way that they do. You know what I mean? You throw out half-ass, bullshit-ass reports the same way that they do. You know what I mean? Like you don't got our back, and then you sit there and then you cry and you complain about how, Black men aren't reaching backwards, with the capes out for you. You know what I mean? You don't even take the time to look at you just say some shit, which highlights the fact that you didn't even fucking look at it. And there's no excuse for it, because everybody has like all these Chat GPT, fucking Gemini, freaking Anthropic, freaking Perplexity, all these goddamn AI, are widely available. Hell, Perplexity is fucking free. You can download it on your phone right now. And you got all the information at your fingertips. And even with all the information at your fingertips, you're lazy as fuck. You're intellectually lazy as fuck. Who's really lazy? Who's really lazy? You know what I mean? That is some, the controller is in arm's length of you. Jamarcus! Yes, Mom. Boy, hand me that remote. And the boy looks, and it's literally It's literally, all you got to do is lean over to get it, but you ain't going to lean over to get it. Who's really lazy? And you can't take the time with free internet. Everybody got a goddamn cell phone, and you can't sit there and be like, hold on, let me run this shit, you know, through the search engines or through AI before I go on the internet and start spewing some bullshit. That literally, you're just gonna put it on the internet, you're gonna say it, and then you're just gonna walk away. And you're not going to correct yourself, you're not gonna take the video down, you're just gonna get on the internet and just say some shit. It's fucked up. Fucked up. And then in future conversations, you'll be running around talking about, oh, the black woman is unprotected. Where this nigga's capes at? That'll be you. Nah, y'all can get the fuck on with that shit. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. That's my video, SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Intellectually lazy, man. Just lazy.
On the scene, diamond blingy, whole screen. Check a boy, Louis V. I'm so fresh and so clean. Stuff them bands in my jeans. Slap them 30s in them things. Pull the trigger, let it sing. Then go smoke a Russian cream.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello?
Where you at?
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We